Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Euros Daily. The sun's shining here in South London. Hopefully, it's shining where you are as well. It's 4:30 p.m. or 4:32 p.m. Running slightly late on Monday, the 28th of June. It's day 17 of Euro 2020, and we are now halfway through the last 16. 24 teams down to 12, and tonight there's going to be two more eliminated. I'm Joe Carter, and I'll be your guide throughout this pan-European footballing funfest. Lots to get through today with two reviews and two previews, including two games that could both be considered as upsets yesterday, and our two massive ties today in the quest to reach the quarterfinals. The first of which is kicking off in just under half an hour. It is, of course, Spain versus Croatia. We'll do our regular man of the match and dick of the day awards and Roz's big old stat of the day. I hope you got a good one for us today, Roz. All of that to come here on Euros Daily. Comment. Get in the comments, let us know what you think. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, allow notifications, and please share the pod. Share it with people who you think might like it. Now, much like the Puskás Arena yesterday, we have a full house here today on the pod. Not as many beers flying around, though. Hello to the freshly vaccinated, although not feeling that fresh, Roz, and the Egyptian pun machine, Mus. Roz, how you doing?
Yeah, better thanks. All good. And halfway through being like indestructible against COVID. So that's positive
Brilliant.
to think about.
And,
but yeah, good man.
Nice. And Mus, just wanted to come to you quickly. The Egyptian pun machine. How do you feel about this Salah news? Have you heard, Egypt wanting him to go and represent at the Olympics, but Liverpool having none of it? Where do you stand on that?
Well, yes, on one hand, as a Egyptian, disappointed that he's not been given permission to be one of Egypt's overage players at the Olympics. That was actually why I was away last week. I was stepping up my pre-season training in case I got a call up instead. But it's completely understandable from a Liverpool perspective. They're already going to miss him for all of January with the African Cup of Nations. They've also not allowed Minamino to go. And that's literally a home Olympics for him. That's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
So from a club perspective, completely get it.
Okay, well, great. Thanks for your insight on that one for us. Should we get on and review yesterday's games then? I mean, this is the tournament that just keeps on giving, isn't it? Yesterday afternoon, we all sat down. We thought, yeah, Czech Republic, they might give Holland, Netherlands a bit of a run for their money. It might be a bit of a goal fest. Who knows? Netherlands' shaky defence ended up Czech Republic winning 2-0 in a very cagey game, which only really, where the balance was properly tipped in the Czechs' favour after the red card. Now, Roz, you're looking slightly puzzled there. Did you say something? Did you think something different as to what I'm saying?
No, I thought that pretty much everyone wrote it off as an easy win for the Netherlands, didn't they? And I actually thought the Czech Republic were giving a lot more even before the red card. I don't think anyone Dutch could possibly say, oh, it was, the red card did change the game, of course it did, but I thought the Czechs actually gave a much better account of themselves, which brings me on to my stat of the day.
Yeah, I think I know what it might be. Go on.
Which is an XG thing, because you know how much I love XG, but this one favours England and it's coming home, so I'm going to use it. And it's that the Czech Republic had an XG yesterday of 1.65 with 12 shots, 5 on target. Now everyone sort of looked at our group as an easy group. Actually, we were playing last World Cup finalists in Croatia. We were playing Scotland, which is a derby. And the Czech Republic, now 1.65. In the game against England, they actually only had 0.31 XG with only 1 shot on target in the entire game. So pragmatic Gareth getting it spot on. They're a much more dangerous side than I think everyone gave them credit for.
Interesting perspective. I mean, just off the back of that, the stat that I thought you might come with is yesterday, when we talk about Netherlands and their strengths being in attacking football, they actually registered 0 shots on target in yesterday's game, which is unbelievable when you consider how they've been free scoring in the tournament up until that point. But great stat of the day, Roz. Thank you very much. The stat of the day. Mus, what did you make of the holes in the Netherlands' defence, or should I say Holles, broke the deadlock after that farcical handball? What on earth was that all about? Can you talk us through those events quickly?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, it was the lift for Czech Republic, and then the Netherlands were in the shik, weren't they? I think the mistake by De Ligt was like kind of unforgivable because even the way he was falling.
Mus, can you call it a mistake?
Well, yeah, I mean, he didn't intentionally handball it, but well,
I don't know.
you know,
Yeah, do you remember Gomez, who used to play for Swansea, came from Lyon, I think.
Bafatembi Gomes.
Yeah, it was kind of like his goal celebration, wasn't it?
yeah, it was like the evolution of man kind of thing. But I just mean, look, even if you're losing your footing, it happens. But still, there's no need to handball it. We all remember the John Terry attempted headed clearance against Slovakia, I think, or maybe Slovenia at the World Cup 06. Oh no, 2010, I think. But you know, put a head on it, whatever. But to take the red card, you're the last man. You should have known better. And yeah, as for Holesh, you know, I was thinking, you know, what kind of joke can I make of his name? The joke writes itself. He's literally called Tom Ash Holesh.
I saw a tweet which was something like, I've just realised that the Czech Republic's defensive midfielder is wearing their number 9 shirt. Surely that's worthy of automatic disqualification.
Brilliant.
The game's gone, mate. The game's gone.
Game's gone. One more thing on the Czech Republic is, have you noticed there's a Jack Grealish fan in their ranks? Barak. He's got his socks even lower than Grealish, and his hair's gradually getting more and more slicked back throughout the tournament. I think it's even more kind of, you know how the short socks things is like inviting me to be like, come on, kick me. I think it's made even more kind of arrogant, more kind of offensive by the fact that they're half white, half pink. By the time they're rolled down that low, and it's kind of that, you know, like the guy who wears the pink polo shirt is that kind of vibe I'm getting off it. Sorry to anyone who enjoys a pink polo. Personally, I think I don't know, it's not for me.
But I think Aston Villa are clearly preparing themselves for the loss of Jack Grealish because they've made 2 bids now for a subpar low sock wearer in Emil Smith Rowe.
Yes, and also Emi Buendia as well, haven't they? They've already signed him up. Maybe they'll go for Barak as well. Maybe they want a full range of low sock wearing attacking midfielders. Who knows?
But he's got ability though. Every time he gets on the ball, you think, yes, he can.
Brilliant. Okay, let's get on to the other game then last night, to which, all right, here comes Mus. It's a Portugal game. Gets out the Helder Costa gag. Brilliant.
Just before we move on, could I just mention Wijnaldum quickly? Because in the build-up, we'd said he's been one of their star players, plays more attacking. Yesterday, he had 26 touches, completed 10 passes, lost possession 7 times, created 0 chances, 0 shots, 0 attempted dribbles.
It's as if North Macedonia are subpar opposition.
I'll tell you what it is, and I think, Roz, we'll come back to what you said. I think everyone's underestimating the Czech Republic in this tournament.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anyway, look, we need to move on. So let's talk about Belgium-Portugal, the first half of which was, I mean, you may as well have watched some paint dry. It wasn't that good, but the second half lived up to it and I averaged out as a very good game because that second half was unbelievable, especially when, after going 1-0 down, Portugal really started to mix it up, didn't they? Saw Pepe losing his cool. There was a 10-minute period where there were about 15 potential yellow card fouls and Portugal just launching balls into the box. One thing I noticed, you know, as it finished 1-0 to Belgium, one thing I noticed is Ronaldo didn't look himself. And I know that's a weird thing to say. Are we starting to finally see signs of Ronaldo aging?
I mean, I think I'd say just quickly, it's like it is the beginning of the end, and you know, I felt sorry for him. But in his defence, he was really trying yesterday. Like he was the only one in that front line who looked like creating. He was running the channels. He set up Jota for that wonderful chance.
Yeah.
You know, running in from the right. It's not like he was just marked out the game and we didn't see him. He tried to have an impact and he just wasn't helped by his teammates.
He was trying to make things happen, and I think the first free kick, he had sort of 2 free kicks. The first one I think was further out. Managed to get on target, which is all you can really do there. I thought that I've forgotten his name again. We were saying that sort of the Portuguese manager is such an non-entity that it's sort of Pepe and Ronaldo that sort of run the dressing room and stuff.
Yeah.
He's going to be my dick of the day because he's had however long had Bruno Fernandes in top form for Man United. Bruno Fernandes was awful when he came on, I thought. Well off. They're really lacking sharpness. But he's got this kind of system where Ronaldo will usually drop back a bit and occupy the sort of attacking left midfield position, which is where Bruno Fernandes likes to occupy himself. By the end of the game, he brought Fernandes on. He stuck Pepe up front. He brought João Felix to be a sort of number 8. He had sort of all these players around him, and I think the formation was something like a 2-8.
Yeah, they left 2 at the back, didn't they?
He just had no clue. And I'm sorry, if you've got Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah, you build the team after one of them. But it instantly changed when he started bringing players on.
Yeah.
Ronaldo actually had people to feed off.
It's kind of almost like plan A is give the ball to Ronaldo and plan B is bring more players on to give the ball to Ronaldo. I mean, like, is it the dawn of a new era for Portugal, perhaps? Maybe they let Ronaldo sort of go now. Maybe it's time to, retire from international football, dare I say it, and kind of loosen the responsibility and let the other players flourish. You might see more from the rest of the team if Ronaldo's not in that team. Very quickly, what do you reckon, Miss?
Can you imagine the riots if Portugal never call him up again, given he's now equalled Ali Daei's record? They're probably going to set up a friendly with Armenia, let him score 7-8 goals, then he can go off into the sunset if he chooses.
Yeah.
Not going to retire before then.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so it is that time. Man of the match day, dick of the day. Roz, you've already said your dick of the day. Fernando Santos, Portugal's manager. Mus, have you got a dick of the day for us?
Probably De Ligt. Just not convinced he needed to handle the ball there.
Yeah, absolutely not. Fair enough. And man of the match, Mus? Man of the match day?
Yeah, I'll go for the Belgian Phil Neville. Torgan Hazard, his moment of genius. And so I'll give it to him.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because we completely, through covering that whole game, we didn't talk about the one goal in the game. But it wasn't a bad finish, was it, really? I mean, it looked like he sliced it. Initially, I thought he bent one into the corner and it looked amazing. But when you see the reverse angle and he's just sort of smacked it and it swerved away, keeper no chance. Roz, who's your man of the match day?
I'm actually going to say Lukaku. I don't think it's the best game I've ever seen him have. But just the consistency he has in a Belgium shirt to just hold it up really well. Always looks a threat, given that he's often, despite their attacking talent, the only man in that half,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought Lukaku was professional. Didn't get a goal, but
yeah. I think when the game opened up towards the end and Portugal were really layering it on, it was a bit of a masterstroke from Martinez to leave Lukaku up top and then knowing that Belgium could just lump the ball centrally. And Lukaku was taking it on his chest against the defenders. It was mad. And he literally saved them in that. It could have been a lot worse had they had someone else in that position, i.e. Benteke.
I think he's actually would be more of a loss. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne went off injured. Now Kevin De Bruyne is like a nice kind of, he's probably the best midfielder in the world. But they've got other creative players that can kind of occupy those positions. If they lost Lukaku and they start with Christian Benteke or Batshuayi or like that, you fear for them.
Yeah, or Trossard. But anyway, so Hazard also went off injured. It's worth noting, Eden Hazard. Both didn't seem that serious. They seemed like they were being saved. They've got a good depth to the squad, so we'll see what happens there. And they will they march on into the quarterfinals to play Italy. So that should be a tasty game on Friday night, Belgium-Italy. The other quarterfinal then confirmed as well, 5 o'clock on Saturday, Czech Republic against Denmark in Baku. So the remaining quarterfinals to be decided, and it's going to be one of France and Switzerland against one of Croatia and Spain. There are games that we're going to look at today. So first up, 5 o'clock, Croatia against Spain. The lineups are in. I'll give you the lineups. I'll give it a go. Spain in goal, Unai Simon. Across the back four, from left to right, Gaia, Laporte, Eric Garcia and Azpilicueta. The central midfield three, Sergio Busquets just behind Koke and Pedri. And the front three from left to right, Sarabia, Morata and Ferran Torres. Croatia playing a 4-3-3 also. Livakovic in goal. Right to left, Juranovic, Domagoj Vida, Shaleta Sar and Gvardiol. The midfield three, perhaps their strongest area. Brozovic just behind Modric and Kovacic. And then up front, Vlasic, Petkovic and Rebic in place of the missing Perisic, who tested positive for COVID-19. So,
superb pronunciation, Joe. Superb pronunciation.
thank you very much. I did no practice. It was all winging it. The head-to-head in this is actually a bit closer than you might imagine. Spain have won 4, Croatia won 3. There's been one draw. Spain shaded it on goals, though, just 15 goals to 9. It's hot weather in Denmark today, 25 degrees. Will that play into Spain's favour or Croatia's favour? They're both reasonably hot countries, I guess. How do you see it going? This isn't just a run-of-the-mill win for Spain, is it, Mus?
No, I don't think so. And then just firstly, just to say that it's probably for the best that Portugal never met Spain in this tournament. Otherwise, Ronaldo would have spent half his time trying to move Koke out the way, as is his want. But more seriously, I think Croatia, I kind of see them as a bit of an own brand Spain in a way. They play fairly similar, but they don't have the same talent. So I expect Spain to have more ball possession, which is normally Croatia's style of play. And I think in the heat, that could make the difference if you're spending half the game chasing the ball. And I think Perisic is a miss. He does give a bit more incision to Croatia's play. And he scored in the last game as well.
Yeah. Ros, anything to add there? One thing I will say is quickly, Luis Enrique said in his press conference, we will try and limit Croatia from having the ball. I mean, this is pretty obvious stuff if you watch Spain and you know about Luis Enrique's tactics. But he said the less time Croatia have on the ball, the more our opportunities increase, especially the likes of their quality in midfield, Modric, etc. So essentially what you're saying, echoing what you're saying, Mus. Ros, is there anything else to say about this one?
Very little, just that I was thinking about this, they're very similar sides, really. They're up until sort of 2006 to 8, they were always countries that had brilliant players, but always kind of the bridesmaid. It's all world-class players.
Well, I don't know about bridesmaid. Like Spain years ago were lucky to get an invite.
Oh yeah, 100%. But they still had, like, if you're looking at the 2000s, you still have the Morientes, the Rauls, the players that were playing for very big clubs, but not, just not doing that well on it. And I think they're both patient sides. You've got, I would give it to Spain as a prediction, just because I think they've got a bit more dynamism. But yeah,
just sound it out, Ros. That's it. No. We've had some comments coming in from Mahmood, but we're going to get to those a bit later towards the end of the pod. So stay watching with us, Mahmood. Ros, give us your prediction then, please, for Spain-Croatia.
I'm actually going to go. It'll be like a 1-0 Spain. I think both sides will kind of try and control it, but not really go for it.
Man of the match?
Anyone but Morata. No, it'll be. Let's go for Pedri.
Pedri, okay. So you think he's the key to unlocking, to picking that lock, essentially. Mus, quickly on Morata, actually. Now you mentioned it, Ros. Just want to pick up on that. He's been subject to some horrific abuse, him and his family, at the last game and since. Absolutely disgusting. No one likes to see that. There's no need for it. And, it's something that is happening in this country finally, is the sort of the war against hate, if you like, and stopping online hate and stuff like that. But his family were kind of hurled abuse at the game wearing Morata shirts. His kids. It's like unbelievable. Horrible stuff. And we don't want to see that kind of thing, do we, Mus?
No, absolutely not. Completely unnecessary. I think Morata's statements afterwards were very even-handed. He accepts criticism, he misses chances, he recognises he's blameworthy for that. But yeah, abusing his family is not the way forward. So in some ways, playing outside of Spain, this game might actually help him. And I'm going to say he might be man of the match on the path to redemption. So he's my choice. I'm going to say 2-0 Spain.
Okay, 2-0 Spain, Morata man of the match. And Ros, you go for 1-0 Spain. My boy Pedri, who looks...
My boy Pedri.
He looks very good, doesn't he? I'm hoping to see Oyarzabal come on and Dani Olmo Spain have a lot of creativity in their locker. I fancy this one going to extra time, though, if I'm honest. And if it goes even further than that, if it goes to pens, here's a little stat for you. Croatia, competitively, have never scored more than 3 penalties in a shootout. And they've only won 1 out of 3 competitive. Spain have won 5 and lost 4, I think it is. So neither have great penalty records. So I think they both would fancy their chances because of the opposition's poor records.
Just thinking about it really quickly, I think Pedri's the only midfielder in either midfield that isn't due his pension anytime soon. I mean, talk about diamonds, but like...
Yeah, bringing down the average age quite a lot there. Youngest player to play for Spain in the Euros, and he will be youngest player, I think, ever in the knockouts. Don't quote me on that. Okay, right, one more game to preview then. France, the champions-elect, the World Cup champions, take on Granit Xhaka's hot-headed Switzerland side. How do you see this one panning out, Roz?
Cricket score to the Swiss. No, today I think it will be anything. Let's go for 5-0. It's the knockout stages. France are gonna stop messing about. They're gonna start showing why they're probably gonna win the entire tournament. Mbappe, man of the match.
5-0. Mbappe, man of the match.
Sometime soon, hasn't he?
Love it, love it. I personally, I hope it's Benzema because I've got him in my fantasy team, and I put 50p on him to be top scorer at the beginning of the tournament, and I was let down in the first couple of matches. But hopefully that works out. A good bet would be Granit Xhaka to get a yellow card, I reckon, because whether they're winning or losing, whether they're 3-0 up or 3-0 down, you can always rely on Xhaka to lash out at something or someone. You know, maybe someone says something about his blonde hair, or who knows. But anyway, as an Arsenal fan, glad to see the back of him. That's another story for another time.
He's taken the Harry Kane technique, which is don't actually hand in an official transfer request. Just do an interview where you sort of, what did he say? He said, Arsenal know what I want. And this was, in Rome. And he said, I really like it here in Rome. I've just put it out there.
Yeah, really respect Jose Mourinho's quality manager. Mus, if Switzerland have any chance in this game, is it attacking France's left-back area where Luca Dean and Hernandez both ruled out for injury? They're expecting maybe Pavard to step across to left-back. Either that or Rabiot will step into left-back as he did in the final group game. Or it'll be the youngster coming in. I've forgotten his name. He's very much, though, the 26th man in the squad. It could be, it could be an area of weakness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this game is definitely one for the neutrals, and that's just Switzerland. But yeah, as Ross said, this will be like bringing a to a gunfight. So I'm expecting France to click into gear and win. Law of averages said Mbappe will score his first goal of the tournament. Right, it's like now or never. But yeah, you're right, Joe. I think with Shaqiri coming in off the right onto his left foot, maybe they'll target that. Breel and Bolo for Switzerland up front has also been really good, energetic at running the line with Seferovic. So yeah, I still think France should keep a clean sheet here, though. Maybe another 2-0.
And who's your man of the match, Miss?
I'll go Pogba. For similar reasons to you, I've got Pogba in my fantasy.
I just had a thought. You know who can play left back? Aymeric Laporte.
Interesting. Well, the rumours are they're going to go for a back three as well, so they might want to keep Laporte in the back three. He's up there. I mean, I think he's the second best pass completion rate in the tournament, which, I mean, you would expect if he was turning out for Spain, but maybe not so for France. But France, they haven't got going yet. For me, I don't think it's that cut and dried. I don't think it's like France haven't got going yet. Here's where they start getting going. La-di-da. I think every game in this tournament, bar Wales, Denmark, has been competitive. It's been an extremely competitive game and a lot closer than you might think. I think do not write off Switzerland. They have some quality players who play at the top level. You know, I think Jordan could be a burden for France. I think Granit offers a bit of, rock solid. Thanks, Ross. Cheers. Don't try and put me off or anything. He offers that solidity in the midfield. But also, Seferovic finally got his goal in the group stage after, umpteen shots off target in competitive football for Switzerland. So I'm not saying France aren't going to win, but I don't think it's going to be as cut and dried. It could be a 2-1 or something like that.
France would be like at uni where you get given an assignment like at the beginning of the term. I just sort of think about doing it, and then as soon as it's the last week or the knockout stages in this case, they'll go, I should probably get on that.
Brilliant. Absolutely love it. We've had 40 of the 51 games of this tournament. It's 80% done, lads. I've really enjoyed doing these pods. This is number 21, and we've got a good few more to come. So thanks very much. Before we go, we will answer Mahmoud's questions. He says, well done, guys. Love the pod. Great comments from Mus. What do you think about England tomorrow? Should we do a little minute on England quickly?
I've only got 3 words, really.
I know what they are. Ros,
we're gonna win.
Ros, why don't you select a book from your shelf while Mus gives us his lowdown on England, which we will cover tomorrow. If you're watching, watch tomorrow, and we'll give the full England lowdown. And make sure if you're watching as well to subscribe and share the pod. Mus, tell us what you think.
Yeah, very good question, Mahmoud. Thanks for asking and thanks for watching. I think England will win. I think they have to win now that they've seen the Netherlands, nominally on paper, the next most competitive team in their side of the draw. Now that they've gone out, the path to the final is looking Scandinavian and it's looking pretty easy. They've got to go for it. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Ros, is tomorrow the final? The semi-final, if you like.
Effectively. Yeah, we're going to win it. We're going to expose their lack of pace. It's fine. Matt Hummels, target Hummels. Save the world. Save the cheerleader, something like that. We're going to win. It's coming up.
Right, on that note, lads, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Make sure you like this video, get in the comments, subscribe to the channel, allow notifications, and share the pod if you think you know someone who would like it. Boys, I will see you on the morrow.
See you then.